Everybody, wandering pastor out here on a blustery late summer day in Michigan, and sounds like some storms are coming in, so wanted to get this in before they roll in. Been thinking a lot about major decisions that all of us have had to make for our own lives, and there are big decisions for the government to make. There's a lot of things going on right now that a lot of people have strong feelings about, maybe fears about, opinions about, is for sure. And how do we know what to do? And how do we know? We always say something like, well, what's right for me might not be right for you. And to a certain extent, that's true. I mean, there are some things where we are given the responsibility and the freedom to choose what to do for ourselves based on the best thing we know. How do we know, though? How do we know we're right? Because it's no secret. You can find experts to say just about anything you want to say in today's day and age, even on something like COVID and shots and things of that nature. I can find people to say what I think is right, and you can find people to say what you think is right. How do we know what is right? And for a believer in Jesus Christ, what difference does that make? Should it be different for how I make that decision based or as compared to people who don't believe? Should there be any difference? I think there should be, in the process as well as the product, and the demeanor in which I make my decision and then I rest on it. What I mean by that is this. I was talking to a friend today about how we make decisions, and one of the things he said, and I think he's right, is that the way we make a decision is sometimes as important as the decision we make. And I think that's true, especially for a believer. We are supposed to make our decisions based on the leadership of God, based on the responding to His character, the way He does things, and not in our own opinions. And so how do we do it? How do we know? Well, for me, I personally, when I'm making a big decision, I try to read and learn as much as I can from a variety of perspectives. And then I put it all in the hopper and I pray about it and I try to do what I think God is leading me to do. And I realize in doing so, I'm going to disagree with some people and they're going to disagree with me. And I think that's okay. I think in this day and age, I think in these circumstances, I think for believers, one of the things God is doing is calling us to trust Him more, to seek His leadership over our lives more, not so that we'd all walk in lockstep with each other, but that we'd walk in obedience to Him and in surrender to Him. You know, in I believe it's Romans chapter 8, it talks about the difference between those who are believers and those who are not. I mean, among other things, is that believers have the Holy Spirit within them, guiding them, leading them. And that is a key thing. The word says, in fact, that those who are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. They are the children of God. So what does it mean to be led by the Spirit? Again, I think it means you commit yourself to follow His word and His way no matter what. You trust Him with the outcome. And then you do your best to listen to what He says to you, and you go that way. And that, again, is going to be different for some. And that's, you know, in this day and age of control and sameness and intimidation and bullying on both sides of the aisle on virtually every topic, that is going to require that your leadership not come from Fox News or CNN, not come from a politician or a pundit, but to come from the Lord. That's a different thing. But that, I think, is what we're called to do. Learn to lean on Him. Learn to listen to Him. And let Him lead you and guide you, because you trust His character, you trust His word, you trust His eternal plan. Now, one thing you got to know is that doesn't guarantee that everything's going to go well for you from a perspective of this life. Following the Lord does not guarantee that I'm going to have safety and comfort and ease all my life. It doesn't. God's will is being done in lots of different ways. In fact, we have brothers and sisters, friends in the family of God that are suffering persecution right now across the world just for being believers in Jesus Christ. They're following the Lord. They're doing the best to let Him lead them. And He's leading them not from a perspective of here and now life, but perspective of eternity. And that's the key, is am I living for his glory for eternity? Am I living to follow him? Or am I living just about me? Because if I'm living to follow him, if I'm living to be led by the Holy Spirit of God for the glory of God, then I'm on the right track. And so whether it's about COVID or whether it's about finances, whether it's about, so many other topics, politics, try to learn, try to read and educate yourself. Get into the Word and make sure you're trying to live as a child of God first and foremost, and then let him lead you. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think as more of us do it, good things will happen. I know this. I think he's trying to challenge the church, that is his children, to learn to let him lead us. And I think we're going to have to do that more and more as time goes by. So my word to you today is just listen to the Spirit. Stop yourself long enough, pray, put down the opinions of others, and try to listen to him. Let him lead you. And trust him. Following him is the best way to the best life. Okay? All right. Wandering Pastor saying peace. Have a great day. See ya.